I spent some of the day with one of America's most wanted men, Khalil Haqqani. Now, he is a major financier of the Taliban, a leader of the Haqqani network, which is one of the most notorious factions within the group. He's also very close to Al-Qaeda. And as of yesterday, he's Afghanistan's Minister for Refugees. They've come to pledge allegiance to the new regime. Tribal leaders and Islamic scholars, turbans and beards from the provinces of Paktia and Khost. Some worked with the previous government, but they've been told there's an amnesty. This used to be the Ministry of Peace. Today, the meeting is hosted by members of the Haqqani network, one of the most notorious terror groups in the world. Speaker after speaker talked of their pride in suicide bombers. Mateen Rahimzai spent a year in Guantanamo Bay. When he was released, his mother asked why he hadn't been a suicide bomber to avenge his Muslim brothers. And then there was the star of the show, Khalil Haqqani, a leader of the Haqqani network, now a minister in the new Taliban government. The Americans have a $5 million bounty on his head and see him as one of the world's leading terrorists.
امن اسلامی نظام استقلال آزادی संघर्ष के जिहाद और कुर्बानी नतीजा दुनिया तक हुगली दुआर करेंगे दस अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह को मुज़ाकरात के दुनिया वाले तमाम दुआर करेंगे और इंशाल्लाह मन भी इत्तेहाद के निज़ाम की मदद करेंगे इस्लामी निज़ाम.
A junior journalist, or maybe a young Talib, films one of the most powerful men in the new Afghanistan. It's a moment in history. Haqqani gets the audience to pledge allegiance to the new emir, Taliban leader Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada. One of the many advantages of the Islamic Emirate system, he says, is that it's cheap. No need to waste all that money on elections. Outside, they mingle and chat. The new Afghan administration will be full not of technocrats and managers, but elders, mullahs and Islamic scholars. And of course, not a woman in sight. No, of course, I was a woman in sight, and also our producer, Anna. So they had no one to pat us down at security, so they asked us to pat each other down, which we did. That was one of the more surreal moments. We were then taken to meet Mr. Haqqani. Now, he wouldn't go on camera and give us an interview, but he did say that, there would be women's rights, and he wanted to stress very much that people who had worked for the Americans would have an amnesty. Now, I'm not quite sure whether those people who are at the moment in hiding will believe this man. The atmosphere around him was extraordinary. He looks very big, but then you realize that that's the bulletproof jacket. He carries an American assault rifle everywhere. That's, I suppose, part of the spoils of war. He has bodyguards as well as his massive turban. He's a very impressive and slightly intimidating character. It's very hard to imagine how anybody's going to deal with him as the Minister of Refugees if the High Commissioner for Refugees wants to come here. But I was talking to a diplomat from one of the Gulf countries this morning. He said, we may not like these people, but we have to engage with them. I'm not sure if the Americans and the Europeans are going to go with that. If you have a man like Khalil Haqqani, $5 million bounty on his head, notorious terrorist, one of the most powerful men in Afghanistan today.
Lindsay, thanks very much.